Hello, everyone, and welcome to Light Language Messenger. Really good to be back talking with you. And it's been a bit of a rip-roaring week and a half since I was last on here. Just checking the volume of this. There we go. Yes, I have. I apologize for not being on Light Language Messenger in the last week. I just had some incredible downloads after my last update here on the Light Language Messenger channel. And incredible to the point of it was quite incapacitating. It was quite shocking. I was getting downloads about information, about things that are, sensitive matters. I felt unwell in my body. My joints were really achy. And yeah, I just did not seem to be able to function in my normal capacity. However, I'm here today. And so I'm sorry that I kind of dropped the ball because of this. I just did not have the energy, even when I thought I'd come up and say something and do a small snippet of a message. I just could not feel it. It was just so making me feel a bit uneasy in the gut. And I just thought, all right, I'll just stay out of it. So today I have I've gone through and I've just done this morning. It was this morning here in Auckland when I did the live transmission with Claudia Tidgens for the Words of the Light series. And I have to say that just after having done that with her, I just felt so energized that I thought, well, it's time to listen to the guides and just get on and do what they're asking me to do in terms of Light Language Messenger. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about some things that I brought up there, and I thought I'd like to share it with you. It won't be long, I promise, because we don't intend for these things to be long. So it's talking about the Lionsgate energy, lots of stuff, lots of energy. It seems like this Lionsgate we got, I don't know, maybe 20 times more than we actually get. In a Lionsgate, many people were very, very aware, and it was very obvious to people that something was going on. We are about to enter Mercury retrograde in a week's time. I feel like the Mercury retrograde has already been in play because I've been experiencing issues with retrograde issues for the last 3 weeks or so. And I thought, oh, feels like we're in a Mercury retrograde, but are we really? Maybe not. Anyway, so there's that. And of course, there's the Venus retrograde. We are currently in Venus retrograde, and I will put a link in the description box to Heather Hensworth. I said her name incorrectly in the morning Words of the Light series with Claudia. I said Hemsworth or something like that, and I apologize, Heather, and apologize to anybody who's looking for Hemsworth. It is Heather Hensworth, and she is I put a link in that description box too. So if you're catching the Words of the Light series on the Great Awakening Generator, the link is there as well. She talked about the Venus retrograde and what exactly Venus is doing. What exactly, when Venus is retrograding, what is she doing? And she explains this process of how Venus becomes a morning star. She's been an evening star, now she becomes a morning star, and she explains that process. So I would really encourage you to go along and have a look at that. I feel like this week for me, speaking about it just reminds me to emphasize with the Venus retrograde, when Venus is in retrograde, normally about 40 days, and this time it's definitely 40 days. It ends on the 4th of September, depending on where you are in the world. But with the Venus retrograde, what actually happens is we can have some ideas, we can have ideas like, oh, I for example, I want to cut my hair and I want to go all the way Italian boy, like this long hair is going to change and I want a new look completely. If you have a thought where you're making a drastic change in the Venus retrograde, it might be better to wait before you put that into place, right? Before you take the action to do it. Because quite often when you make big changes in a Venus retrograde, you tend to regret it afterwards. That's the general thing about it. Mercury retrograde, what are we going to do in the Mercury retrograde? Make sure your technology is upgraded before we go into retrograde. Although right now, as I said, I don't know. It feels like we're already in there. Remember also, if you're signing contracts, it be very careful and clear about the terms of the contract, and that you understand it, that there are no hidden meanings in it. Okay. And I try not to start. I try to sign contracts after the retrograde period is over, and I try to pull it through like that when I've been faced with situations like that. I also prefer to um, to start working on a new project after the retrograde, not during it, because I have found that when I have started projects during a Mercury retrograde, they end sometimes abruptly, but somewhere along the line, even if it goes on for 3 months, somewhere along the line, they just end. So I don't know how we do this. I don't know how we navigate and we manage all of this. I was not aware. I wasn't aware of Mercury retrograde or Venus retrograde prior to maybe 5 years ago, right? However, for me, a lot of people say, "Oh, just don't worry about it. Just carry on living." Because how did we do that before we knew it? And that's fine. But I think once I started to understand the Mercury retrograde, I understood my life better, because I have, my rising sign is the avatar for Taurus is Venus. Okay, the avatar for Gemini and Gemini is my moon sign, is Mercury, and my star sign, the avatar for Aries, is Mars. So I have a triple whammy, not a double whammy, a triple whammy, because most of the time Mars is just doing its own thing, right? Mars has a thing where it goes into, I don't know, off grid. After it goes to so many degrees of something, it goes off grid, and then it kind of explains my life, why sometimes I felt so disconnected, or I felt like I don't know where I'm going to, because you've got all these you've got Mercury and you've got Mars. Mercury and Mars for me are very, very they affect me a lot. And it made me understand myself better once I understood what the retrogrades mean and what it means when Mercury is doing this, and how I'm affected. And I'm quite affected by the Mercury retrograde. And last week, which then comes to last week, I had all of that light coming down, all the downloads, the codes that my body was assimilating, my mind was assimilating, all of that, my heart, um, my spiritual energy, all of that. And then I was quite unwell again last week with all this, the soreness of the joints and feeling a bit incapacitated. But I also just did not have the energy to sit down and meet with people. I kept getting the guidance um, to actually cancel meetings. And so I kind of rescheduled things as we were ending July, as we were coming to the end of July. I was asked to cancel a few projects I was on, as in not as in cancel them, as in to close them off. And so I did. I followed through and I did. And so right last week, I was nowhere near understanding what was going to happen to the future of my radio show, whether I was going to carry on with it, what was going to happen in terms of the Great Awakening Generator, in terms of Light Language Messenger. And I thought, why am I going through this? Because I was pretty sure that I had guidance to do it. But I'll tell you what it was. I feel like we are going through these things where ideas are being put forward to us, so that we must really be sure about the pathway we're following, about the purpose that we're fulfilling here on the planet. I mean, you want to fulfill your purpose, right? So I think that is it. When you ask for understanding of that, there will be times when you will have experiences that will get you to really question, are you on the right track with that thing you felt guided to do? And I had to think for a moment, I was at a time where I was actually thinking, oh my gosh, do I really want to continue on this journey? Because I'll tell you why. And this is not about the channels, but just my whole life and my whole journey. Because I'll tell you what's happening. I have been through what I'm calling a dark night of the soul, because I don't have, for want of another word, or maybe a black night of the soul, as Tim Wilde refers to it as, for a long, long time. And it's becoming ridiculous how long the issues go on when in terms of finances. And it's not financial abundance. It's about just meeting your basic needs that's becoming a joke. And I've been saying, what the heck is going on here? Got to a point where I even applied for work outside of this work. Okay. And I mean, because this work is voluntary, right? I'm just doing this. There's no thing as well, payment comes with this or anything like that. I'm doing this because I felt guided. I said to my guides, I've done everything you've asked me to. What the heck is going on? And I don't know what the heck's going on. I still don't. So if you're out there and you're in that situation, I feel for you. I know what it feels like. I am going through that myself. And I'm feeling like, hey, you know what? Did I sign up for it to be this way? And what the heck? What the heck's going on? And so I've got to say this, though. I don't know the answer to that. If you're wondering, I'm still wondering. And I'm at the point where I've just said to them, enough's enough, guys. Higher self, enough is enough. When it comes to this, stop going so deep. Someone said to me, people that say, oh, part of ascension symptoms is lack of finance. What do they know about it? I don't, because did they, as much as an intuitive teacher, for example, is saying that now, think about them. Where were they when it all started? They weren't in the ascension process. They weren't at these times, and they said, it sounds very much like when we were in church and, we were hounded to do offerings and tithings and though the powers that be lived well and we were the ones who were giving our money, but, we were lacking. It's very much like the medieval times, right? Where you paid your taxes to the king and if you were the farmers or the peasants or the villagers or whatever, doesn't matter that you struggled, but the king lived in abundance. And so it really got me thinking when this person said this to me. And I thought, you know what? Perhaps I've been thinking about it in a third dimensional way, like, oh, I have to do the hard yards to start earning that money that I'm used to. And actually, I've done my hard yards, haven't you? I've done mine. I've done all of my hard yards in the third dimensional space. I have been a single mom. I have tried to survive with one income that was not enough. I've gone through all of that. And here I am now. And everything that I have tried to do, even in my mainstream work, I do training projects, I do systems implementations for accounting systems. I'm an accountant. And it got me really, really, really angry and in some ways a little bit bitter. But I feel like I went through some kind of journey last week. I felt really sad. I felt sad that my guides, that my higher self, I know my higher self is helping me. But I felt sad because I felt like, when is my time? When does this turn around? Have I not done? Have I not done enough? And I know the answer is within me because I'm told that. But hey, sometimes even if I'm told that and I'm supposed to believe that, I find that very hard to absorb. So friends, I want to say it's not easy for some of us. For those of you that are having a good, wonderful time, long may that continue. I feel a warmth on my back, and I feel like one of my guides is soothing me. So I have to breathe. So when this happens, when it comes to the time that we get our I don't know, why should we have penance or recognition? That's not what we signed up for. Penance or recognition is not there. What we need here is to get all of the mindset and the blocks out. And so when that happens, how that happens, let's together today put out a request for all of us that are going through this. Let us put out a request that the blocks be removed, that abundance flows, that the suffering ends because it needs to end, and that we meet more than just our basic needs in how we provide for ourselves. So today I'm going to do language, and I was going to use a card. The card that has come up a lot in my space this week is Archangel Michael. Okay, let's do the card, right? Let's bring him up. Let's just 1 second. I want to show you the card, and I will read from the book. So last time we spoke, I said I was bringing in the energy of the Akashic Tarot. Now I want to first see if I can bring up what that card looks like, what the deck looks like. Okay. I won't be too long. This is coming up. Okay, there we go. So I want us to see this deck because it's a very beautiful. I kind of got distracted with the Beyond Lemuria cards, and they are very much a favorite of mine. But I want to say this is my absolute favorite. I'm just going to increase the size of the screen. Let's go to there, and we're going to share the screen. Right, I'm sharing this here, so you know this is the deck we are reading from today. It is the Akashic Tarot, and it is by Sharon and Klingler and Sandra and Taylor. It's got a very beautiful, the messages are apt. They are apt for whatever we, whatever we are asking for at the time. Right, here we go. I'm going to stop sharing that. Let's bring up the Archangel Michael card from this deck. And then I will share my screen. Before I share my screen, let's go to musicians mode. Here we are, musicians mode. And then we're going to share this. Then we'll share the screen. Okay, everybody looking at this beautiful, beautiful card, Archangel Michael. There is the beautiful Archangel Michael with the beautiful children. So I feel like he's coming. I refer to Archangel Michael as he. I tend to use the word E with the archangels. I hope my card looks like it's curling at the end, that it's not curling, because I cannot. Oh yeah, it is slightly curling. I'm a little bit fussy. I do love these cards. They're very important to me, and they're very special because all my oracle and tarot cards, I've taken a long time to collect them, and it's taken a lot of saving money for them. I know you understand that, so I really love them. So this is the number 9 card. Remember that in numerology, number 9 is the number of endings. So time is ending, and we are beginning. So ending a time means beginning of something. Okay, I'm going to first do some language because I feel the need for the language, and then I'll get you to keep looking at the card, and yeah, let's do the language first. Oh, aleka chao. Ha hua lemeto la mateke la botai. Hoa lea vo kena keta la moho. Kalemeke tola katana kotae na karava kechola kucham. Hello ma, hello ma. Hola que lo sabe lo giana que caloto. La me que salo maeto faina que la you. Oh, I la me. Kola baba lo vane ala cucina mahe. Oh, I oh. Que se la mona y la voz Ole davala ke tolom. Isela makatata tafarana ke he tolahia. Oh, la babi he. Oh, nele kishala mokochona ye. Mother, father, kuna tekalana motahe makaratenaka. Young woman, ilaka shukulama kitafala kitoto moro. Dabale kitana de kitota hina garabasatako. Yirakta. Tolama kitalama kichalama kotofala katana karaito. Taite para. We will do some perhaps discernment of that language after we've read from the card. Archangel Michael. The Archangel Michael is an channel of divine power. He's here sharing his energy with two small children, bringing them great strength and support. He's about to pick up the boy, and he can help you lift your energy too. When you receive this card, know that your energy reflects Michael's amazing strength. This can be a cycle of increasing power for you, one where you feel your courage growing and you know what action to take next. Trust your convictions, your power, and your resourcefulness. Michael, upright or in the upright position, heralds a time of greater courage, force, initiative, and action. So don't delay. He's right there with you. So tap into the dynamo within you and take the action that compels you. With Michael and your own power, you can move mountains and lift yourself to new heights. So join me as we take the Akashic force, wisdom to do some guidance, almost like a mindfulness practice. Close your eyes and sense Archangel Michael's approach. Take a breath, dear ones, if you so feel in need. Begin to feel the force of your own courage and strength grow within you, making you ready to take action with confidence and peace. Feel the power that fills every part of you now. I feel it in the bottom of my belly. I feel it in the depths of my core. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for a beautiful message. Thank you, guides. Okay, friends, I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. So, thank you for your time, friends. I want to say this is what's occurred to me in this last 24 to 48 hours, because I had my own private altar last night, as many of us do. We have time alone with our higher self and our guides. And I had a whole squad turn up. I had Archangel Uriel turn up. And I don't have a lot to do with Archangel Uriel in my guidance. I always call upon Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron. But Uriel and Raphael were there. And so I realized that they were healing me. And I just feel like this is not very nice to say, but it's a nice thing to say, but it's like if someone says that to me, I would be like, what? Just stop talking to me. But I will say it. I've heard this message from them before, but I haven't outwardly said it to anybody. We chose to be here on earth in this time in order to understand what poverty is, in order to understand what suffering is, some of us are having to go through it so that we can empathize with those people that need it. I also feel it's time that that story needed to be stopped in its tracks, because for some of us, we have done this road for too long. And so this is why I have said to my guides, my squad, no more. No more. They almost lost me last week, because I was at a point where I was thinking, gosh, I don't want to do this anymore. Not because I do not love humanity, because I have a great love for humanity. I have a great love for this planet. I have a great love for all the universes. I have a great love for everything I've done now in this lifetime and every other lifetime. I have a great love for the galactics. I have a great love for the universe. I have a great love for the unicorns, for the dragons, for everything that's creation, for everything that's higher self. I do. I have a great love even for those that are not operating from the highest perspective, because I know that it's their journey and I know that they're part of our awakening. And so there is no doubt about the love I have for the planet. There is no doubt within myself or anything else. And so I felt like, okay. The other thing they were saying, well, when you're a way shower, it doesn't mean you only are the way shower of good things or awakening things. You can be the way shower of things that are challenging. Your experience can become something that other people learn from. Now, I've had that happen to me before. They've told me that before, and I want to say, you know what I want to say. I want to use an F word here, but I won't be doing that. But I'm saying, yeah, okay, but enough's enough. So I feel like I have my warrior on. And I don't mean to be warrior-like here on this channel, but with the way I was feeling, I couldn't not say it. I need to be real. It's important. I haven't stopped loving. I haven't stopped operating from love. I will continue. And yes, I'll continue my work. But I felt like I was flattened, and enough is enough. So hopefully the language that we got today, the download that we got today, that it's going to do the thing that we need it to do for us individually. So much love to all of you, friends. So much love, so much love, so much compassion, so much understanding, so much love. Thank you for your time. And I'll catch you again here on the Light Language Messenger channel. If not, on the Great Awakening Generator. Namaste. Stay well.